LEGO has a problem with the Viking Village minifigures, and not a problem with their quantity, although 4 minifigures in a $130 village is a problem. Perhaps a better name would be the Viking Nuclear Family Homestead. No, the problem with the Viking Village is the minifigure selection. There's a Viking chief with a white beard and armor, this Viking soldier whose lack of beard makes him look really young, and then 2 female figures that don't really fit the mold. Now, it makes sense to have an equal balance of males and females in a Viking village, but their roles are a bit unusual. One is a fighter, presumably, and the other is a blacksmith, and neither fighting nor smithing were activities women participated in at the time. There is no evidence of women present in any of the recorded Norse battles, and blacksmithing was a profession that was often handed down father to son. And this isn't me saying this is Daniel McCoy, a Norse scholar and author, saying this. Now, before the angry comments are written, I'm not saying LEGO sets need to promote traditional gender roles. There's a much deeper debate on gender roles in other parts of the internet, and I don't want to get into that here. My argument today is that the Viking Village set ought to be more historically accurate. Raiding and pillaging were men's roles in Viking society, as was blacksmithing. There were certainly exceptions to this rule, to be sure, but they were very uncommon. And don't get me wrong, I love the female warrior archetype. Eowyn's story is probably my favorite subplot of Lord of the Rings. The issue is that these stories are powerful because they defy historical norms. LEGO sets like this one, on the other hand, need to represent the norms to be considered accurate. Whether you like gender roles or not, they are a fact of history and one that LEGO should represent. This was done properly in Brickhammer's most recent Viking Village Ideas submission, which showed a larger minifigure selection including a woman and a child. Neither fit the stereotype of rough and tough Viking warrior, but they were realistic in their own way. The same can be said of the fisherman. He's not a soldier, but he adds to the historical realism of the model because not all Vikings, not even all the men, were fighters. This more nuanced look at history is in some ways even more representative because it shows things as they actually were. You may object that portraying the unsavory parts of history is not something LEGO should be in the business of doing, and that LEGO should even sanitize parts of history that they portray in their sets. However, LEGO has no problem selling Vikings decked out with weapons that were used to slaughter innocent civilians, or even the ships they traveled in to do so. And the LEGO fanbase has a demand for such implements of war that outpaces even what LEGO is willing to supply. You need to only look at the LEGO customs market to prove that. I don't think it would be acceptable for LEGO to sell a Viking Village set with no weapons, armor, or other implements of war, and it certainly would not be a commercial success. Some unfortunate parts of history have to be included for the sake of accuracy, and this, I believe, is one of them. You might also object that this is not the first time it has happened. The Viking Longship set from 2022 had a similar minifigure selection, but that was clearly a playset designed and targeted for children. And when you're young, historical accuracy matters to you a lot less. Children will be happy playing with whatever figures LEGO provides, and may even tell more interesting stories to explain the unusual role of women warriors. But the Viking Village set is different. It's an 18-plus ideas set targeted towards adults who are aware of history enough that this set's deviation from it will bother them. It bothers me because I was hoping for a traditional dress on a Viking female that I could use in one of my displays, and now I won't be getting that. Accurate representation is far more beneficial than sanitizing history, and I believe the LEGO fanbase is more interested in realism than meeting the expectations of modern society. The Vikings were a specific culture in a specific time and place in history, and we deserve minifigures that reflect that.